Hello, it's Mark Bruce here, Jura Whisky's brand home manager, wanting to welcome you all to the Isle of Jura. This evening we are going to begin our virtual tour in Craighouse, which is Jura's main village and home to the majority of just the 212 people living within our tiny island community. Craighouse is where you will find our one pub and hotel, our community store that supports life here on our island, and of course the Jura single malt whiskey distillery. All of this is shared with more than 6,000 red deer that also call Jura home. And for those of you wanting to explore more of the island, you can take the one long road past the paps there at the top of the screen, head towards the north end of the island where you can visit Barn Hill and onto the Quarry Wrekin, which is one of the world's largest whirlpools. So let's go into the distillery. And reopening in 1963 to bring prosperity back to our island, the Jura Distillery to this day remains an integral part of the island's community. We're currently employing 17 of just the 212 people that call Jura home. From either beds or crisp maltings, all malted barley used at our distillery is brought over from the mainland's east coast. We currently receive 26 tonnes of malt, 7 days a week, for about 11 months of the year. Six bins on site capable of sustaining production continuously for a 7-day period. And outside of a 4-week peated malt run in early spring, Jura whisky is made from entirely unpeated malt. We head upstairs into our mill room, which is home to a 4-roll Porteous mill purchased second-hand in 1963, which is crushing 5 tonnes of malt and 20 kilo tips for mashing in. The 5 tonnes of grist will now be added to our stainless steel semi-lauter mash tun to begin mashing in. 44,000 litres of hot water is added in 3 stages at varying temperatures to begin breaking down the starch into fermentable sugars for fermentation. We are currently running 4 mashes per day, which totals 28 a week. All draft left over from mashing in will now make its way back to Campbelltown, where it will be used to feed dairy cows. It takes 2 mashes or 49,000 litres of wort to fill one of our 6 washbacks here at the Jura Distillery. 150 kilos of distiller's yeast will then be added to commence what is a 54-hour fermentation. And our still house is home to what are considered some of the tallest wash and low wine pot stills in the Scotch whisky industry. This allows us to produce a consistently light, fruity and floral new make spirit. First distillation, which will run for 6 to 7 hours, requires 1 washback or 49,000 litres of wash to be split between our 2 wash stills. The wash is now heated to a temperature of 110 degrees in order to begin vaporization. The remaining 16,000 litres of low wines now commences its second distillation at a slightly lower temperature for a period of about 10 hours. The heart of our low wines run, or middle cut, will now be taken at between 71 and 64 degrees of pure alcohol. 4,000 litres of new make spirit is now held until filling in one of our intermediate spirit receivers. Upon filling in American white oak ex-bourbon casks, we'll dilute our new make spirit to 63.5% in order to slow evaporation during maturation. And with 5 warehouses here on site, we're capable of maturing up to 31,000 casks. This means that with an annual production of 2.4 million litres of spirit a year, the rest of our new make is currently being stored in the Gordon for maturation. On average, we lose 2% of our spirit in the first year and 1% every year after that to the angel share. Average annual temperatures move no higher than 9 degrees, which provides us with a slow and consistent maturation heavily influenced by the Gulf Stream. Cask types here include some sherry butts, some very old hogsheads that date back to the early and mid 70s, and of course, ex-bourbon.